Tó bá máa ya fọ́tò náà nìyẹn. A máa ya fọ́tò náà ṣe fọ́tò. Tó bá gbà ní kí ló pè. Kí ni Yorùbá photographer?
Photographer. Ó sì púpọ̀ rí. Ọdẹ yá ya.
Ṣé bá mọ̀ ilé ìta sí o?
Ẹgbẹ́ àǹfà. Àpọ̀jù ni ayàwòrán. I think the online game is on the side of the main office is Facebook. Not today. Hello.
Ho finito, ma te che andiamo finendo di un po' di loro, dopo si fa fare mangiare. Ah, che io c'è. Ah, poveri. Ok. Zuma, tu sais. Àwọn àmúwò ní ìjọba ṣe láti tẹ́sí láàrin ohun tí wàá ṣe náà ti dà ẹ ti sex ẹ mọ̀ wù kí o ẹ mọ̀ wù kí o.
Ask one of the protocols there.
Tá bem, então sim, o telefone estava lá na download, a minha filha, eu gostei, é tudo lá de ser, tá no base então, tá no filho. Isso é Deus, né? Ah, eu fui meu filho. Ué. Antes não. Não estou comigo. Antes.
Honourable Justice Opayinka, Honourable Justice Oladejo, Honourable Justice Adepoju, Honourable Justice Adeshina, Honourable Justice E.A. Taiwo, Honourable Justice Segun Olakojo, Honourable Justice Adetujoye at the back there. Honourable Justice Lajide, Honourable Justice Olawoyin, Honourable Justice Ajayi, Honourable Justice Olatunji, Honourable Justice A.L. Akintola, Honourable Justice Audi Akintola, Honourable Justice O.M. Olagunche, Honourable Justice Ishola, Honourable Justice B.A. Taiwo, and my Lord, the Honourable, the Chief Judge of Oyo State, Honourable Justice I.S. Yerima. Thank you. We will now take the national anthem. The first stanza on it, please. Thank you. My Lord, my lords, the presiding justice and other justices of the Court of Appeal, both serving and retired. My lords, judges of the High Court of different jurisdictions, serving and retired. My lord, president of the Customary Court of Appeal and other judges, both serving and retired. The Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice of Oyo State, the Chief Registrar, Deputy Chief Registrars, your worships and honors, learned Chairman of the NBA in Oyo State, Ibadan, Oyo, Ugomosha and Shaki, learned senior advocates here present, learned members of the Nigeria Bar Association, distinguished wife and members of the family of our departed legal icon, distinguished invitees, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We are gathered today in this solemn yet celebratory session to honor the memory and legacy of a man who walked the hallowed halls of justice with grace, wisdom, and unwavering integrity. Honourable Justice Lambe Arasi, retired. God, we gather with hearts that feel the weight of his departure. We do not come to mourn, but to celebrate. For a life well lived is not mourned, but remembered with gratitude. Honourable Justice Arasi lived a full life, a meaningful and impactful life, one devoted to the service of God, humanity, and the cause of justice. Honourable Justice Arasi's story began on the 19th of April, 1935 in Ibadan, the city whose heartbeat he would come to embody throughout his life. He was born into the illustrious Oshundina Osi family. His father, Mr. Olajire Arasi, was a popular butcher of Isalusi, and his mother, Madam Humani Adeitu Arasi, a well-known Adire textile trader. From then, he inherited the virtues of diligence, discipline, and the dignity of honest labor. He attended the Native Authority Practicing School, Sharp Corner, Okeado, Ibadan, for his primary education, and thereafter proceeded to Grammar School of Kwara State for his secondary education. From those early years, his leadership ability shined bright, consistently appointed class captain for 4 consecutive years, and later serving as senior prefect in his final year. I call this his first appointment. Justice Arasi's quest for knowledge led him to the School of Agriculture, More Plantation, Ibadan, where he trained as an agricultural assistant between 1958 and 1959. His brilliance was quickly noticed and was retained at the Federal Agricultural Research Institute, More Plantation, as a soil scientist between 1959 and 1964, a role he performed with characteristics excellence. However, his ambitions stretched beyond the fields of agriculture. With uncommon determination, he pursued a new calling, the law, as it is popularly called. He gained admission into the University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, to study law on a part-time basis, and upon successful completion, proceeded to the Nigerian Law School in 1969. There, he studied alongside some of Nigeria's finest legal minds, the likes of the late Honourable Justice Nikki Toby, Honourable Justice John Afolabi Fabiyi, Honourable Justice F.F. Tabai, Chief Kola Babalola, SAN, and others, many of whom would go on to leave indelible marks on the Nigerian judiciary, as he did. Justice Arasi's career in law was marked by diligence, integrity, and mentorship. In his early years of practice, he worked with distinguished seniors such as Chief R.O.A. Akinjide, SAN, and Honourable Justice Bola Babalakin, JSC retired. Before establishing his own chambers in 1975, a firm that quickly became a beacon of excellence and a breeding ground for future luminaries. Among them, Chief Adeniyi Akintola SAN, Ajibola Olanipekwe SAN, and Mrs. Fumi Aduni-Quadri SAN. It is often said that to the one who does excellent work, more work will be given. Thus, his lordship's shining diligence led to his numerous public appointments, which included 1. Chairman of Oyo State Rent Tribunal, Ibadan, 1977 to 1980. Member of Oyo State Zonal Health Board, 1979 to 1980. Part-time Councillor for Health, Ido Local Government, 1990 to 1991. Member, State House of Assembly Election Petition Tribunal, Sokoto, 1991. Member, Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, Kano, in 1991. His distinguished service culminated in his appointment as a judge of the Oyo State High Court in 1992. On the bench, Honourable Justice Arasi became renowned for his thoroughness, discipline, and sound legal reasoning. His judgments were not only scholarly but enduring, many standing the test of appellate scrutiny up to the Supreme Court. He retired honorably in 2003 after over a decade of distinguished service on the bench. In retirement, Justice Arasi remained as active as ever. He was appointed as the first chairman of the Oyo State Multi-Door Courthouse, pioneering Oyo State's Alternative Dispute Resolution Center. He served meritoriously in that role until 2022 and continued thereafter as an arbitrator, legal consultant, and trusted advisor. Beyond the courtroom, Honourable Justice Arasi was a proud son of Ibadan and a true statesman. He served his community with the same zeal he brought to the bench. As a committed member of the Ibadan Action Council and the Central Council of Ibadan Indigents, his leadership culminated in his appointment as Chairman Board of Trustees of CCII, a position he held with distinction until 2022. Through it all, he remained humble, approachable, and deeply committed to the welfare and unity of his people. Honourable Justice Arasi was a man of quiet strength, diligence, and excellence, firm but fair, disciplined yet compassionate. His lordship also had a wonderful sense of humor, which was well known to his friends and associates. And at this point, I would like to add an anecdote of a personal relationship and the joke we had between us. When we were appointed in 2001, and if anybody says anything, I was very troublesome. I used to poke at him and make jokes and trouble him. I remember the first lunch after the judges' conference that we had the opportunity. And after the meal was served, I tapped him, I pulled at his jacket and I said, "Don't they serve any champagne here?" And then they're giving us only water and whatever. Where's the champagne? So since that day, he used to call me Champagne. He embodied the finest traditions of the judiciary: impartiality, hard work, and service. His life reminds us that true greatness lies not in the titles or positions, but in the lives we touch and the values we uphold. Even now, he continues to speak through his landmark judgments, his mentorship, the books he authored, and the enduring example of his life. As we reflect on his life, 90 remarkable years, we are reminded that Honourable Justice Arasi's life was indeed a life well lived, full of purpose, integrity, and impact. We do not mourn him, we celebrate him. We celebrate a jurist, a mentor, a patriot, and a gentleman of the law. May his memory continue to inspire us. May his example remind us all that in service to justice we find our true calling. May his gentle soul rest in perfect peace. To his dear wife and children, may you be consoled by the fact that he lived an impactful life and thus his memory remains sweet. I thank you all for listening. I'd now like to call on the Honourable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice of Oyo State to deliver speech. And if you'd like to introduce yourself and the capacity by which you're representing the Honourable Attorney General.
Yes, Follow. I'm Olajire. I'm Director of Supervision and Advisory Services too.
Okay.
First and foremost, I would like to extend the apologies of Honourable Attorney General to this gathering. We would have loved to be here, but it's presently outside the country on a assignment. So I will therefore deliver a speech to this gathering. My Lord, the Honourable Chief Judge of Oyo State, my Lord Justice of Court of Appeal, President, both retired and serving, my Lord President of Customary Court of Appeal, my Lord Judges of the High Court, retired and serving, my Lord Judges of the Customary Court of Appeal, here present, learned senior advocates of Nigeria, here present, members of the Outer Bar, distinguished members of the Arasi family, ladies and gentlemen. It's with a heavy heart, yet with deep gratitude for a life of honor and service, that I stand on behalf of government and people of Oyo State to pay tribute to the late Honourable Justice Lambe, Olajire Arasi retired, a jurist of distinction, a man of quiet strength, and a true servant of justice. His lordship passing on 2nd day of July 2025 marked the close of a remarkable era, one defined by integrity, discipline, humility, and unwavering commitment to the rule of law. Though he has departed in body, His voice still speaks through the judgment he delivered and the lives he shaped. Born into a lineage of honor and service, Judge Arasi pursued legal education with excellence and was called to the Nigerian bar with a burning passion for justice. Across a judicial career spanning decades, he served the justice judiciary with exceptional intellect, calm temperament, and incorruptible character. His courtroom was a sanctuary of fairness, decorum, and equity. His lordship's attention to detail, mastery of both substantive and procedural law, and insistence on integrity earned him enduring respect within the bench and the bar. Beyond his learning and erudition, Judge Arasi was a man of deep humility. He treated everyone from the most senior advocate to the youngest clerk with the same courtesy. To him, justice was not only a mark of law, but also of humanity. His judgment remained a reference point for clarity and depth of reasoning, guiding practitioners and inspiring younger lawyers who seek to build their careers on integrity and scholarship. To his colleagues and juniors alike, he was a mentor, a compass of wisdom, and a model of restraint. Outside the courtroom, his lordship was a devoted husband, father, and grandfather, a family man whose private life mirrored the virtues he upheld from the bench: discipline, compassion, and faith. He also served his community with quiet dedication, promoting education, mentorship, and public service. His humility and simplicity endeared him to all who encountered him, while the sense of justice extended far beyond the courtroom. As we gather in this hallowed hall today, we remember that life is not measured by its duration, but by its impact. Judge Arasi life teaches us that the pursuit of justice is not a profession, it is a calling. It is now our collective duty as judges, lawyers, and citizens to preserve and uphold the noble idea that defines his life: integrity, diligence, humility, and service to humanity. The government of Oyo State remains firmly committed to supporting the judiciary, maintain independence and dignity for which men like Judge Arasi labor tirelessly. On behalf of the Select Governor of Oyo State and the entire Ministry of Justice, I extend our deepest condolences to the Arasi family, the Oyo State Judiciary, and all who mourn this irreparable loss. May the Almighty grant his noble soul eternal rest and comfort his family with assurance his legacy will forever remain a guiding light in the pursuit of justice in Oyo State and beyond. At the Honourable Justice Lambe, Olajire Arasi, rest well, noble jurors. Your work lives on. I thank you.
Thank you, representative of the Honourable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice of the State. I'd like to make some recognitions at this time. And I'd like to, first of all, appreciate Chief Olajire. I saw you when I came in, but I didn't want to break it for all the senior advocates that are here. I don't have your list yet, but I've told the registry to be yours, but I really have to appreciate you for coming to. Also, Chief Bayo Yero, you're welcome, sir. Chief Y.A. Akonde, the former Attorney General of Oyo State. I saw you when I came in as well. And Chief Iyola Oladokun, the former Deputy Governor of Oyo State. All our retired judges of the High Court and Customary Court of Appeal, especially my sex, I welcome you. You're welcome. Honourable Justice, Justice Eson, my Lord Justice. I know you old ones, I know you. So, with that, I don't want to be convicted without trial. My Lord Justice Adenichi, our CJ Emeritus, you're welcome. Please, we'll do the recognitions later. I'll now call on the chairman, NBA Ibadan branch, to deliver the speech.
My Lord, the Honourable Chief Judge of Oyo State, Honourable Justice I.S. Yerima, My Lord, the President of Customary Court of Appeal, Honourable Justice T.M. Abdulgali, my Lords, Judges of Oyo State High Court and other jurisdictions, serving and fired. My Lords, Judges of Customary Court of Appeal, Oyo State, my Lord Spiritual and Temporal, Learned Senior Advocate of Nigeria, the Honourable Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice of Oyo State, the Chief Registrar and Deputy Chief Registrar of High Courts and Customary Court of Appeal of Oyo State, your worships, your honor, officers and men of the Nigerian Bar Association, the wife and children, members of the family of our departed judge, members of the fourth estate of the realm, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Every soul will taste death, and you will only be given your full compensation on the day of resurrection. So, he who is drowned away from the fire and admitted to paradise has attained his desire. And what is life of this world except the enjoyment of delusion? Quran 3, verse 8, Surah Al-Imran. Longevity errates its complex propensities, alluring, but oftentimes burdensome. It bears little on the quality of existence, shorn of courage, resilience, and consistency. Making an impactful impression is a consequence of focus and determination. There is no hero without a story. Material acquisition does not define success. The ability to know oneself and chart a course designed to achieve optimum purpose enhances visibility and optimal recognition of excellence. The man for whom we gather was an exemplar who left indelible imprints in legal practice and community development. We converged on this hallowed chamber this morning to celebrate a life lived in conviction and service. This was an existence marked with remarkable impressions, born of the knack for diligence, principle, focus, and honesty. The quality of the attendance speaks eloquently on the gravity of the loss. The evocation of deserved eulogies rendered ceaselessly by those whose paths either crossed or knew by reputation is a clear attestation of the depth of loss. Living to the ripe age of 90 years is a great feat in a climb where life expectancy is put at 55 years. Being privileged to enjoy the gift of good health to live peaceably in retirement is very rare indeed. A person nurtured from cradle on rich nuggets of heuristic logic into adulthood is bound to be an achiever. A well-rooted personality winged from the rusticity of Ibadan, imbued with the knowledge of the foundational thoughts as propounded by legal theorists, evidence of a symbiosis between theory and practice, which gives provenance to the enviable success we celebrate this morning, would not have turned out differently. Oyo State is indeed very lucky to have been a direct beneficiary of this exceptional gift. The life and times of my Lord, late Honourable Justice Lambe, Olajire Arasi retired. Writing about this erudite judge, in whose presence one felt overwhelming knowledge, discipline, forthrightness, courage, and an uncommon predilection for excellence appears simple. His life, an open book for chroniclers of events, makes contribution on his exemplary life an easy task. His activities as a technician, agricultural scientist, and specialist in soil analysis afford us a glimpse into the quality of training which modeled his early life. Sharing the same platform of instruction with the eminent jurists and notable personalities such as the late Honourable Justice Nikidobi, JSC, late Honourable Justice Muri Okunola, JCA, Honourable Justice John Afolabi Fabili, JSC, retired, Honourable Justice FF Tabai, JSC, retired, late Honourable Justice Victor Omage, JCA, late Honourable Justice A. Adeniran, former acting Chief Judge of Oyo State,
and late Chief Kola Babalola, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, among many others who were called to the Nigerian bar in 1970. The rare privilege of having his chamber attachment under the tutelage of the legendary Alawa Kabashorun, a former president of the Nigerian Bar Association, continued the trajectory of purposeful training. His decision to join the legal firm of Chief Badegesi Ajeigbe in Ibadan on his skill as a consummate litigation lawyer, who was allowed to handle several cases at the High Court even as a junior. He held briefs for the finest minds in the legal profession, such as the late Chief Richard Akijide, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, late Honourable Justice Bola Babalakin JSC retired, Chief B.T. Akande, and late Honourable Justice Lekan Lajide, among others. The late eminent jurist established his own legal practice in 1975. The law firm established its reputation for excellence, following the enviable tradition of hard work, resilience, and honesty. The firm produced the likes of late Ajibola Olanipekun, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Chief Adeni Akitola, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, CON, and Mrs. Fumilayo Aduni Kodri, SCN, who were his juniors in the chambers at that time. He was well prepared for the job of a jurist with the opportunities offered him for service in cognate assignments. He served as the chairman of the Rent Tribunal for Ibadan between 1977 and 1980. He was appointed a member of the Oyo State Zonal Health, Ido Local Government, between 1979 and 1980. He was a part-time councillor of Health, Ido Local Government, Ibadan, 1990 and 1991. Served as a member of Sokoto House of Assembly Election Petition Tribunal. He also availed the country of his service as a member of the Governorship Election Petition Tribunal for Kano State. Justice Arasi became a judge of the Oyo State High Court in 1992. His appointment was well received by his former colleagues at the bar, and not a few practitioners celebrated him. The learned jurist was admired for his thoroughness, discipline, deep appreciation of the law, compassion, firmness, and respect for members of the bar who appeared before him, regardless of age in practice. He delivered numerous judgments, upheld at the Court of Appeal and Supreme Court. The forensic logic upon which his judgments were delivered was unassailable. He presided over matters, leaving litigants with a sense of satisfaction in the belief that the cause of justice had been served. A few of these judgments are published in his book, Signpost to Justice, showcasing his profundity as a philosopher and very knowledgeable jurist. Bankefa and Adiagbo, Ajadi and Shoneye, the state and you are Shode Onishola Abbas and Femo West Africa Limited, Bankola versus Ahmed, Salaudin versus Against Lawal, among others. Acknowledging that mutual respect must exist between the bar and the bench for the smooth administration of justice, he wrote in his book that, I'm quoting him now, I had the fortune that throughout my tenure as a judge, no lawyer was ever rude to me. It is not uncommon for lawyers and judges to disagree in courts on the interpretation and application of the law. The most important thing is for the former to have their say and for the latter to have their way. The late Honourable Justice Arasi was a man of impeccable integrity. May we at this juncture pause to make some remarks on the commendable activities of the new Director of Public Prosecution. Members of the Ibadan branch of the bar wish to put it on record that Mr. Abiodun Abiola Pella has been discharging his functions as the Director of Public Prosecution most diligently. We acknowledge the remarkable improvement and the untiring effort of our colleagues working in that office. Within a few months of his appointment, he has been able to clear all pending legal advice from 2021. He has also ensured that legal advice is rendered within 2 weeks of the receipt of the file from the police. The new innovation in legal advice now is that suit numbers are included in the legal advice, avoiding the need to wait endlessly for arraignments. One can also get the CTC of the legal advice upon application to the ministry. All this by no means ensured efficiency in the administration of criminal justice. The list of the DPP's advice received court has been growing steadily. Starting from the month of July 2025, the unmistakable impression from Benin has been positive. 51 files were treated with dispatch. The month of August recorded 44, September 103, and October 60. So far, 284 case files have been treated in 4 months. It is indeed a new dawn in the Ministry of Justice. May we also pay glowing tribute to the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice for providing the enabling environment which has made it possible for our colleagues to excel. We are indeed very grateful. The bar is concerned with the slow pace of work on the buildings being constructed by the Oyo State government for the judiciary, both at the High Court Complex, Ring Road, and the Yaganku Court Complex. It appears that the contractors are handling these projects have abandoned it. We appeal to the governor, His Excellency Engineer Seyi Makinde, to use his good offices to ensure that those buildings are completed without further delay. The bar also reiterates our call for the restoration of electricity at the Yagogu Court Complex. There is no way a court powered by a generator for 4 hours a day will serve the purpose for which the court is established. Effective administration of justice requires adequate electricity for the court to function properly. The bar notes with considerable unease the seeming disconnect between the leadership and the judiciary. We crave marked improvement in the leadership as this is the only way the cause of justice can be best served. The current leadership of the bar is not interested in any antagonistic engagement that will be counterproductive. We are ever ready for report interaction aimed at enhancing the working relationship with the judiciary. The beautiful jurist, Honourable Justice Arasi, was also appointed to serve as a member of the Oyo State Law Reporting Committee in November 1977 before he bowed out of service after a meritorious career in legal practice as a judge. He continued to offer his wealth of experience in the service of Oyo State, even after retirement from service on the 19th April 2003. He was the pioneer chairman of the newly inaugurated Oyo State Multi-Door Courthouse, having been appointed in 2018. He served till 2022. He remained active in the legal community as an arbitrator, legal consultant, and a dependable advisor to many legal practitioners and judges, not only in the state but also far away. He was not a person who would distance himself from the activities of his people on account of cheap elitism and arrogant pride. He was not content with being a proud son of Ibadan, staying in his cocoon and feigning ignorance of the plight of his people. He participated actively in the developmental programs of the CCI, Central Council of Ibadan Indigenes, and Ibadan Action Council. He served in different capacities, culminating in his appointment as the chairman of the Board of Trustees of the CCI, a position he held till 2022. The associations to which he belonged benefited immensely from his extensive knowledge and experience. Principled, firm, and humble, he left anyone whose path crossed his in no doubt of his strong character. He was a dedicated family man. He was accessible to all and sundry throughout his life. His circle of interaction was not limited to legal practice, courtroom, and judicial activities alone. He was a community leader. This makes the laws acute. We extend our heartfelt condolences to the members of the family and the people of Ibadan. We congratulate ourselves for the gift of this great man. I thank him.
Thank you for that wonderful tribute. I now call on the chairman, MBA Ogbomoso, to deliver speech. Begin. Oh. Chairman, MBA Oyo branch.
My Lord, the Honourable Chief Judge of Oyo State, may I humbly seek my Lord's permission to stand on the existing protocol as already observed. It is with a heavy heart of profound gratitude to God for a life well spent I stand before this honorable court today on behalf of the Nigerian Bar Association or your branch to pay our last respect to a distinguished jurist, a man of honor and a beacon of judicial integrity, which is late Honorable Justice Lambe Arasi, a retired judge of the High Court of Oyo State. Today's valedictory section is not merely a ceremony, but it is a solemn moment of reflection on a life that enriched our legal system and touched countless lives, both within and beyond the courtroom. My Lord Justice Lambe Arasi was the embodiment of discipline, humility, and scholarship. From the bench, he dispensed justice without fear or favor, affection or ill will. He was a judge who listened patiently, analyzed issues meticulously, and delivered judgments that spoke the language of both the law and conscience. His lordship believed that justice was not an abstract ideal, but a living virtue that must be seen to be done. In the words of one of his colleagues, Justice Arasi never raised his voice in court, yet his presence commanded silence, respect, and order. The relationship between the bench and the bar was one his lordship cherished deeply. He treated lawyers, both young and old, with civility and respect, never using the gavel to intimidate, but to guide. The legacy of Justice Lambe Arasi is one that endures beyond his years on the bench. His contributions to the jurisprudence of Oyo State remains in our hearts. He demonstrated that true greatness lies in humility, diligence, and unwavering devotion on duty. His life reminds us that the measure of a judge is not the number of cases decided, but the fairness, clarity, and humanity with which they are decided. Though his lordship has departed this earthly realm, his footprint remains indelible. We at the NBA Oyo branch join the judiciary, the government, and indeed all citizens of Oyo State in celebrating a life of purpose, integrity, and excellence. On behalf of the entire members of the Nigerian Bar Association Oyo branch, we extend our deepest condolences to the Arasi family. May God comfort you and grant you the fortitude to bear this great loss. As we bid farewell to this eminent jurist, we are reminded that the best tribute we can offer him is to uphold the ideas he lived for, and which are justice, fairness, and service to humanity. May the soul of late Honourable Justice Lambe Olajire Arasi find eternal rest in the bosom of the Almighty, and may his memory continue to inspire us all to serve with humanity and distinction. Rest well, my Lord. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, Chairman of the Oyo branch. Is the NBA chairman for Shaki around? Thank you. Please do permit me at this time, before I call the representative of the Senior Advocates of Nigeria, and recognize, like I recognized earlier, Chief Olajire, the Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and also I've been given the list, so I hope I won't get it. I will get it right. Yeah, Nick Peter, SAN. Sorry, I don't. This is the way they wrote it, so I don't know who is senior. Please pardon me, but I recognize our Baba here. Alhaji Lasu Sanusi, SAN. You're welcome, sir. Thanks for honoring us. Chief, well, I've recognized Chief Olujimi, SAN, Musibao Adetumbi, SAN. Mr. Adefiniton, SAN. Prince Oloyede Ashanike, SAN. Professor Babatunde Oni, SAN. Mr. Shewan Abimbola, SAN. Ààrẹ Biola Olagunju, SAN. Kazeem Gbademosi, SAN, Tunji Ogunrinde SAN, Kunle Shobaloju SAN, and the baby of the SANs, Kolawole Eson. 045. I think the list is still not complete. Please, registry here, they have not done a perfect job. Please, you are recognized. Yes, this is a litigation. What happened? Yeah. They are asking for permission for amendment. That's it. Yeah, and also like to recognize my Lord, Honourable Josemo Owade JCA retired. Honourable Justice Akiteye retired, the first PCCA. You're welcome, sir. Honourable Justice Eni Eson retired, PCCA. Honourable Justice Aderemi. Honourable Justice A Aderemi. Honourable Justice Abbas. Moshood Abbas. I hope you won't take back your daughter. I saw you the other time and I would acknowledge you, but didn't mention it by name. You are most welcome. Honourable Justice Deja Akonbi, PCCA retired Osun State. Thanks for always honoring us. Honourable Justice Agbaje Oladeyinde, you're welcome. I specifically said you should be reminded this morning that you have to be here. Honourable Justice Oa Aiki, retired. Honourable Justice, and then Honourable Justice C.M. Abdugani, the present President of the Customary Court of Appeal, you're welcome. Honourable Justice S.A. Oyejiro, no. I think I saw Honourable Justice Ajadi. Yes, it's before Oyejiro and Jokunle. And then, please, sorry, Senior Advocates of Nigeria, I hope that's the last one. Aderemi Ogunsoye, SAN. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you very much. And I hope I've cleared them since there has been Honourable Justice Ojekunle CCA. You're welcome. Sorry to have skipped your name. At this point, I'd like to call the representative of the body of senior advocates to deliver their speech. And his speech. I didn't see any video there. With his speech. Okay.
My Lord, the Chief Judge of Oyo State, may I humbly seek your permission to rest on the existing protocol. I also like to mention specifically the family of late Honourable Justice Lambe, Olajire, Arasi. Once again, the strike of death has brought us together this morning, not to mourn, but to celebrate the life and times of that illustrious son of Ibadan, late Honourable Justice Arasi, who rose from a very humble background to attain the height he did as a respectable judge of the High Court of Oyo State before answering the last call. A time like this reminds us that as creatures of our Creator, we have but a fleeting time in the land of the living. It was my learned friend, Okweyemi, one of the children of his lordship, who brought the news to me when we met somewhere in Abuja. It was a big shock to me, but I managed to gather myself together and express my condolences. Then I said to him, I must attend the valedictory court session in his honor, and that he should keep me informed when my Lord the Chief Judge has decided a date for it. Okoyemi did not fail to tell me, and that is why I'm here today. Please permit me, my Lord, to begin by recalling how I came to know his lordship, how he impacted my life positively, and what manner of man he was. I think the beginning was around 1969 or about 71. I was a tenant in a house at Yemetu Ibadan. I was then working at the UCH as a typist. But I was studying privately as an external student of the University of London, doing the LLB program privately. I had passed the entire LLB and registered for part 1. The entire LLB was the equivalent of part 1 of LLB program in Nigerian universities. So that means I had registered for part 2 at that time. To me, I thought I was doing very well. Then a new tenant came into the house. Who was that tenant? It was my Lord, Honourable Justice Arasi, then a practicing lawyer. I didn't know who he was, but one day I saw him dressed for court. He was well trained, with his collar and bib spotlessly white, with his bib responding gently to the pulls and pushes of the breeze. I got fascinated by his immaculate appearance, and I said to myself, I think I should get close to this man. The idea was to enable me to seek his advice as to whether I should continue as a private student of the University of London or seek admission to a Nigerian university to complete the LLB program. As soon as he came back to the house that day, I asked to see him, and he welcomed me to his sitting room instantly. He said, Akin, you don't fair. I told him, sir, I have been studying privately for law degree program of the University of London as an external student, and I have passed in LLB. I have registered for the next level. I just wanted to know what his advice would be for me on whether I should continue with the external degree program or seek admission to a Nigerian university. He commended me for making efforts to improve my education, and he added that it was better for me to seek admission to a Nigerian university to broaden my horizon. He said further that as a private student studying on your own, you will be so narrow as you'll be restricted to your views alone. But in the university, apart from being exposed to other subjects, you will also be able to interact with fellow students, which has a way of developing your communication skill, which is essential to legal training. I thanked him and subsequently got admission to the University of Ile-Ife. That was how I struck an enduring relationship with his lordship. Now, after I had qualified as a lawyer and entered the practice of law in Ibadan, the very first personal brief I would have after my national service was a minor chieftaincy matter from Iguara in 1980. I filed a case at the High Court, Ibadan here. After service of the writ of summons and set of claim on the defendant, I was served with the defendant's memorandum of conditional appearance, signed by whom? I saw hello Arasi for the defendant. Let me confess, I was so scared. I said, why should he be the one to defend this case? This is the one I should run to. But I think quite naturally, as I said, I was scared. Because I knew I could not match him in lineal experience. But I was not to reveal this inner scare, either to him or to my client. The defense he put up was a very hard one. He relied on a series of defenses to dislodge the plea of res judicata, which I raised for the plaintiff. Now, during one of the hearing days, an event that plays out in the mind of litigants happened. Litigants see the opposing lawyer as their enemy. So it happened one day after his lordship's car had to see the mechanic for service, and a colleague dropped him in the court. At the end of the proceedings that day, he said, "Akin, will be in the office?" So I said, "Yes, sir, I will do." Then he entered my car. So as I was about to start the engine, his client walked around to us and asked to see him briefly. Then he got down from the car and walked a little bit away with the client. When he came back, he said, "Akin, you know these litigants, they can be funny." He asked me why he should enter the enemy's car and that he should please allow them to hire a cab for him. Of course, he threw it back at the client and told him he should feel free to come and collect his case file and engage another lawyer. The father told the client it's not part of the brief of a lawyer to take up arms for a client against his colleague. The client did not collect his file and did not raise the issue again till we finished the case. My client managed to win. Now, his lordship Bono had bad feelings against me. He was extremely happy that I could perform that much, even against this very, very difficult defense he had set up. He said, "But we meet in the Court of Appeal." I said, "Yes, sir," but I was still afraid. When we got there, again, we managed to stay through the Supreme Court. By the time we now got to Supreme Court, where I had become Senior Advocate of Nigeria, a colleague now needed that case to complete his own cases, so he could also apply for the SAN. So that was why I didn't appear to argue the case in the Supreme Court, but I also wrote the brief. I don't want to mention that colleague I gave the case to, but the case is Olajire and Lambe, reported in 1998. As in Nigerian Weekly Law Report, part 583, at page 509. Even while we were still embroiled in the Yoruba case, I was consulting him in other matters. He was the one who taught me in interpreter summons. Our relationship became very deep and he would occasionally share with me tidbits he came across in practice. Occasionally, his ascension to the bench did not diminish his respect and love for me. I learned quite a lot from his attitude to life, his love for others, his benevolence, and engaging simplicity. He was a good family man. In his dedication to the cause of justice, as I came to know in my appearances before him, he was very much at home with the conduct of proceedings which reflected uncommon ease and speed, even in the face of the daunting challenges confronting the administration of justice. Integrity-wise, his lordship stood tall. He was simply incorruptible. Win or lose, you will be satisfied that his lordship gave proper and adequate consideration to your case, untrammeled by any other consideration than the justice of the case. Cool, boisterous as you may be, he would listen to you with equanimity. He had a knack for easily disentangling a bulwark of misleading factual narrations and easily disentangled and legal submissions. He was imbued with a superb analytical mind that helps to disinter the justice of a case. His judgments were always very well researched and lucid. His literary skill was unique, reflecting a stylistic flow that promoted reading. His lordship was certainly one of the best minds that have sat on the bench of Oyo State. His lordship has completed his own life orbit and has taken his exit as ordained by our Creator. We have inevitably lost him, but we are not to mourn, but to continue to celebrate him for a life well lived, with significant literary contribution to the cause of humanity. May the good Lord, who is perfect in power, love, and purity, grant him remission of sins and cast on his entire family, both nucleus and extended, his wings of protection now and evermore. Thank you, my Lord.
Thank you very much, Minister. At this point, if you permit me to recognize Honourable Justice Yakubu Azan Mohammed of the NIC. I saw you, I couldn't remember your name, so I had to tell them to get your name. Thank you for always attending our function. I also like to appreciate, to welcome and appreciate Barrister Segun Adegoke, the Special Advisor, Migration and Homeland Security to the Governor of Oyo State. You're welcome. And then Minister Ashamu, Honourable Commissioner for Environment. You're welcome. Of Oyo State Government. You're welcome. Also, my attention has just been called to the fact that Mr. Aderemi Oguntoye, SAN. I've already recognized them. At this point, I'd like to call on for the response by the representative of the family.
Thank you, my Lord. My name is Olajire Arasi. I'm the second to the last born of Honourable Justice Arasi retired. I want to thank your Lordship for this wonderful valedictory session. Thank you for honoring our dad. I also want to thank the family for giving me the privilege as the baby, second to the last baby, to speak on behalf of the entire family. We are grateful. I also want to thank the learned senior advocate, right, Madam, Father in general, Chief back in the Thank you so much, sir, for us. It was just very well, and instead of it, we are grateful and thank you for standing with us. I mean, our late father's community, the Ibadan community, and the Bayo Yero, the former President General of Central Council of when we stepped into the university. I said, Inka, you are the second to the last. I wish all my children, at least 5 of you, study law. That's how much you love the Lord. And I said, but Daddy, why don't you tell us? He said, no, I want all my children to feel purpose. You chose to study law, not because I told you to. You chose it because you wanted to, right from year 3, primary 3. You've been saying, I want to study law. Even when you said, oh, you gain admission to study science, you said, no, I'm going to art, because you believe then that it's only those students that go to art class. You know. So we thank God for his life. Yes, he's left us, but we are comforted by the fact that he left in us those values. That as we grow as children, we realize that those values keep diminishing globally. But we thank God that we have in us his legacy. And one of the promises I've made to ourselves is to ensure that his legacy never dies. Through men and women that have crossed his path and he has imparted into. We promise ourselves as a family to say we'll continue to live through him as we grow up. And to the judiciary, to the legal system, we also promise ourselves that impact that our father has made, we that have chosen, myself, my younger brother, we would leave it and would ensure that his legacy remains. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to friends and families all the way from Abuja, all the way from outside the country that came to honor. We are super grateful. We are super grateful. Thank you so much, my Lord. Thank you.
Yeah. Any special announcement?
Yes. There's refreshments as you go downstairs. Collect refreshments. Thank you so much for coming. That'll be nice.
This brings the valedictory court session to a close. Thank you all once again. Thank you all for coming. Thank you. Yeah. National anthem.
National anthem on
Thank you.